This is a kind of video sketchbook, I guess, of how I'm dealing with the lockdown and charting the journey of what goes on after. And I'm recording it in the hope that some of it may become useful to you. Uh, so, so where am I? So where am I is angry. One of the things I've been finding out that's coming up a lot for me during this time is anger. I'm very quick to anger at the moment, and I guess that's around a few things. I guess it's around things pressing my buttons. I've never been very good with people telling me what to do. Um, Conflict with authority. I always have done. Inside me is still a young, you know, teenage anarchist who doesn't want to be told what to do by anyone, even when it's the right thing to do, even if it is the right thing to do. I often feel like I walked into school and I sat at the back of the classroom and got angry and mocked anyone who stood up in front of me, and largely I stayed that way for quite a long time. Um, and I've learned to deal with my anger. I've learned to make my anger useful, but I still have a healthy distrust of authority. So I find that this situation of being told what I can and can't do, I find really difficult. Um, and hearing other people talk about it, I find it difficult. When I hear people say things like, "We're not allowed to do that," something really comes up for me. Do you know, the last time I was told I weren't allowed to do something was by my mum or my dad, and I didn't like that then, or teachers at school. I didn't like it then. I don't like it now. And it's a lack of responsibility in that. No one tells me what I can and can't do. I agree or I don't. Right. So I find it really hard really easy actually to get in contact with my anger around this. And this morning it came up for me around kind of social distancing. Someone really seeming to be enjoying walking along and taking a lot of space and saying like 2 meters, telling people to stand back, 2 meters, 2 meters, but yet taking up the whole curb. And it was like I projected onto them that they were enjoying trying to assert some sort of control over me that without kind of backing they wouldn't do. And so I moved to anger. Um, and I know that for me, like anger can be my most destructive emotion, and I judge it can be for a lot of people, but it can also be my most creative emotion. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go through what I do when I get angry, how I try to deal with it, and see if any of that is useful to you. Because in this time, I judge a lot of people quick to anger. And the last thing we want to do is lock it away. The last thing I want to do is lock it away. But the last thing I want to do is be destructive with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take through kind of 5 points, five ways I kind of deal with my anger, and I think they may be useful to you. I hope. And that includes, first of all, I get clarity and admit that I'm feeling angry. And we'll go into all these in a lot more detail. But the first point for me is really kind of getting clarity that I feel angry. That I feel angry. And part of that, the second part of that, is that what goes hand in hand with that is that I'm not angry. The second clear distinction is I'm not angry. I just feel angry, and that no one makes me angry. It's just something I'm feeling. It's just a reaction I'm having. Yeah, and the contradiction. It's like, and then the third thing for me is like I have to become aware of the contradiction that there is. It's like we're told for a long time that anger is a bad thing. We're not supposed to, don't get angry, don't get angry. Told off if we should, how dare you get angry? Told off if we get angry. It's not acceptable. People step back. But then as as I grew up, as I got older, it became addictive, that thing of anger. I became really addicted to it because I got a response. You know, either I got met with an equal amount of anger or people bent to my will. And it became the easiest emotion for me to go to. It was the easiest one for me to find. And so I have to come to terms with that contradiction, that there's a part of me that says I don't want to feel it, and there's a part of me that loves feeling it. And then the fourth part is I kind of have to work out what anger is. You know, what it really is. And it's easy for me to think it's like that it's the force that makes me want to go out and attack, but it's just telling me that there's something happening that doesn't need to happen, or something is happening that shouldn't happen, or that I need to do something about something. It's just that shot of adrenaline that tells me I need to do something. And then the final point is I have to work out what I'm going to do with that anger, where it's going to go. Once I've clarified it, once I've owned it as mine, where's it going to go? And I can either kind of look at that in terms of being forthright with it, doing something productive with it, or just letting it be in with it. Just being with it. Just treating it like the weather. It's just something I'm going through. It's just something I'm feeling. So let's kind of go back and go through those things in a little bit more detail, because they're certainly useful for me, and I think they might be useful for you. So what do I mean by admitting that I feel angry? The problem I think we have as humans, generally, especially in this culture, where we don't really get clarity of what our emotions are, we tend to instead of admitting them to be emotions that we feel in our body, we turn them into something I think in my head. So you'll hear people say, like, we mix up the two things. We mix up emotions and thoughts. So I think I'm really pissed off right now, rather than I'm feeling angry. Or we'll kind of dress them up as other things. We'll dress them up as anxious. I'm anxious. I'm anxious. Things just ain't right now. Something's pissing me off. Anything other than just saying that I'm feeling angry. You know, and there's something with all of the emotions, there's something really powerful about getting clarity over those emotions and owning them. I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling fearful, I'm feeling angry, you know, I'm feeling joy. Just actually owning those things, there's a lot of power in it, and anger is one of those, because we turn it into something else. We turn it into, I'm really fucked off, I'm really pissed off. Anything other than just saying I'm angry. So getting clarity and just realising it's just a feeling in my body. It's not this rage that's in my head. It's not these desires. It's not these things. It's an emotion that I'm having in my body. It's something that's mine. It's a feeling. Just the same way as I feel joy, just the way as I feel sadness. It's in my body and it's mine. And that bit about it being mine, being my thing, is really important. That brings me to the second point. Because with anger, the other thing that I do, and I judge we do culturally, is we make it all encompassing. So we don't say I'm feeling angry, say I am angry. Right now, I am angry. It's like somehow Lawrence has stopped existing, somehow all the other emotions have stopped existing, and I'm only angry right now. Like I don't have the capacity to feel more than one emotion at once. I have more than one idea at once. It's like I am Mr. Angry, and that's all that exists is anger. And the other thing that I tend to do, is I make it someone else. I give my anger to someone else. You made me angry. That thing over there made me angry. Nothing makes me angry. No one makes me angry. Something happens, or someone says something, and I feel angry. Usually based on a story that I'm making up in my head. or a reaction that my body's having, but I feel anger, and it's my anger. It's not their anger, and that's kind of, we'll come to how we deal with it, how we deal with anger. But that taking ownership of it is the first stage. It's mine. It's a feeling I'm having in my body. Nothing to do with what happened. Yeah, might be something that stimulated it, and there might be something that needs to happen because of it, but the anger is mine. So that's where the contradiction comes up for me. That's where the contradiction with anger comes up for me, because we're often, anger is the emotion that, like, you can't show. People back off. Especially now, where we're in an age where confrontation is somehow being, like, put away. It's suddenly it's not okay to be angry. We don't even use words for it anymore. We say things like, I'm triggered. I'm being triggered right now. Right? Dude, you're making me angry. Well, look, there I go. You see how cultural that is? It's not like you're making, it's like, dude, what you're doing now? I'm starting to feel anger around that. Right? See the difference in that? It gives me ownership of it. It's my reaction to it. Right or wrong. It's my reaction to it. And that energy, when we show it, it's like, when we tell kids, don't get angry. Don't get angry. When you're angry, you've lost. Once you've got anger, you've lost. Once you react in a negative way because of anger, you've lost the situation. But your anger is welcome. Your anger is one of the most powerful energies we have. Like Maya Angelou said, it burns it down. It burns things clean. When we get it out, when we express it cleanly. So I have to deal with that contradiction in myself. That one bit, there's a load of programming that said, this ain't right. You shouldn't feel this. Right? Move it to something else. You're going to be judged harshly. If you show this anger, you're going to be judged harshly. And also the bit that says, oh, this feels nice, doesn't it? Because I don't know if I'm speaking for anyone else, but when I get angry, there's a bit of it I love, because it's that power, and I think, especially being a man, and I'm a fair size, like, if that's an addictive thing when I get angry, because if I get angry and I show my anger, people tend to do what I ask them to do. It becomes a really powerful way for me to get my own way, actually, is by clicking with anger. It gets a reaction. It either gets the reaction that someone else is going to meet me angry and I get that explosion, or people are going to bend to my will. And I have to put that shadow out in front of me. There's a bit of me that loves that. There's a bit of me that really loves that power that comes with that anger, and loves being able to tap into that. And it's a great power to have. It's a great weapon to know is in my arsenal whenever I need it. I've got to own when it works like that, because otherwise that is destructive. That is bullying. That is tyrannical, and that's not the man I want to be. So I have to, when I'm feeling that anger, I have to acknowledge it. As well as owning it's a feeling of mine. That it's my feeling in my body. No one made me feel it. Right? It's just a part of me. And there's a bit of me that loves it. Because if I own that, if I bring that out in front of me and I own it, I've got half a chance of dealing with it in a fair way, dealing with it in a constructive, healing way. So we're talking about sort of identifying it and dealing with the qualities that it brings up in me. But then there's also the part of, I have to be aware of what it is, like what anger actually is, as well as being an emotion in my body. It's a message. It's my message it's a message telling me something. It's either telling me that something, I need to do something here. Something isn't right, and something needs to get done here. Right? That's normally what it's about. Or one of my values that is, one of the values that is core to me is being pressed upon. Right? So something's got to happen. And it's that flee and fight. It's like it comes up. It's like something needs to be defended here. I need to be defended. Someone I care for needs to be defended. Or a value of mine needs to be defended here. And some of these values are like, they're not even values that serve me anymore. Like the example I give is like when I'm walking down the road. If I'm walking down the road and I get bounced or hit by someone knocking into me, don't happen now. Social distancing, but like, the guy who does that the 10th time is going to get a very different reaction to me. Or if I've had a really bad day and I'm getting off the train and you bump into me, you're going to get a different reaction and different judgments from me than if I've had a great day and I'm feeling chilled out. So it's not the action that makes me angry. It's the story that I tell myself that leads me to anger. It's that story that leads me to anger. And so those values, those things that have been impeded may not even be what serves me. So I have to be aware of what the anger is and separate it. So what is it telling me that needs to happen? And does it really need to happen? Or is that an old story that I'm telling myself? So if someone bumps into me, do I really need to listen to the little boy in me who used to have trouble at school that is now saying that guy's going to make you look like an idiot, and if he makes you look like an idiot, everyone else is going to think you're an idiot, and suddenly you're going to be having to defend yourself all day long, so you need to attack him? Or do I listen to the mature and more sovereign part of me that says, you don't know what's going on in that man's life, why don't you let him go? Let it pass. What does it really matter to you? So I have to get it out and look at what it's trying to say to me and see if it serves me. What it's telling me to do I really need to do it? And if I do, then I have to be really thankful for that adrenaline shot that it's given me to be able to go out and do it. And if I don't, then I can choose to let it go. And that's that thing about it. Let it go. Once we've defined it as our own, once I've defined it as mine, once I've clarified what it is, once I've clarified what button of mine it's pushing and whether I want to do something about it, then I have a choice. And that's where sort of the anger management comes in, really. What now do I do with it? I've got clear and I've taken ownership. But what do I do with it now? What do I do with it? It's clearly mine and I know what it is. I know what it's telling me to do. So what do I do with it? So I have a choice. I can either go out and do something in a healthy way. If I have control over the situation, if it's a situation I have control over, I can do something about it. Whether it's telling someone how it made me feel, whether it's getting involved in an action that I have to do. And you know what? Depends how bad the situation is. Maybe I have to go out and hit it head on. Sometimes in life that's the truth. Right? Sometimes in your life you've got to defend something and you have to step up. So maybe I'm having to do that. If a situation I have no control over, like now, or a situation where I can't do the right thing over it, or a situation where it's an old pattern and I'm just feeling the anger, then what do I do with it? Because if I put it down, if I push it down back inside, it's going to come out a different way. Yeah? It's like all them people that bang into you all through your whole life. All those people that have pushed you around your whole life, they're down, and suddenly someone explodes. So you get these massacres in America because they haven't dealt with it. They're seeing the anger in everyone they look at. So how do I deal with it? Where does it go? Well, if there's nothing I can do about it, if I can't take a small step towards it, then I've got to treat it like the weather. You know, our emotions are like the weather. just a feeling. You know, like some days you just walk down the road. You know, like I'm sure you've all had it. I like to speak for myself, but I'm sure you've all had it. Sometimes I'm walking down the road and I just feel sad. And there's no reason why. I feel sad, I just do. Or some days I wake up, I'm just in a good mood. And I can look around for the reasons. But we don't ask, why is it rainy today? We know that sometimes the clouds come. And we know that sometimes it's sunny. Right? And sometimes them things happen in inclement times. We don't make up a load of judgments about that. We don't look for a cause. We just go, oh, that's inclement weather we're having today. Well, that's the same with my emotions. Some days I'm just having anger. I'm just feeling angry today. Don't know why. Some days I'm just feeling sad today. Don't know why. Some days I'm just feeling joyful today. I don't know why. They're just like the weather, and it will pass. So I just want to recap, because this took me a long time to learn, and I had a problem with fighting for a long time. I had problems with getting drunk and getting angry. You know, I was an angry young man for a long time, very self-destructive. And it took me a long time to work this stuff out. And I've given you 5 points, but really it comes down to a few stages, which is get clarity. You know, wrong way around. So take ownership. Take ownership of the emotion. Get clarity. What's it saying? What's it want to happen? And then take action with it. And that's whether it's doing something about it in a positive way, or just taking the action of willing to be with it and not pushing it away and just feeling it. Just spending time with it, getting to know it. Because we will have all of these things, you know, over these weeks. God knows how long this thing's going to go on for. You know, I'll probably be looking at more of the emotions, but anger is the one that's coming up for me the most at the moment, because I don't, as I said, I don't like being pushed around, don't like being told what to do, don't like not being able to go where I want to go when I want to go. I even get angry at a person outside Sainsbury's who tells me I've got to wait there. Who are you telling me to wait for? You know, I don't like that. They're doing their job, so what do I do with it at that time? So there's a perfect example. I'm going up to Sainsbury's, someone says wait there, looks at their thing. Right? What could I tell myself? I could myself, that person is making me angry by pissing me off and talking to me like I'm an idiot. That's what I could say. But what's really happening? That person's doing their job. Maybe they're stressed out. Maybe the guy before gave them a load of grief, woman before gave them a load of grief. So they're talking to me a bit curtly than they normally do. So what's happening to me? An old story of being treated like an idiot comes up, and I go, I want to smack that dude in the mouth and tell him that, make him give me the respect he deserves. But that ain't the man I want to be. So what do? I go take ownership of it. I am feeling angry right now, feeling it in my chest, feeling it. It's mine. It's my anger. He didn't give it to me. He just pointed me in the right direction. It's mine. And I get clarity. What's it saying to me? It's saying to you, it wants you to go and be violent. But I want to do that, because that's not the man I want to be. So what can I choose to do? What am I going to do about it now? I'm not going to buy into it. I've already observed it could be this person's having a really bad day. So what do? I smile. I'm friendlier to that person than they are to me. Yeah. Happy to wait here. You just take your time. I've got nothing to do today. It's nice weather we're having, isn't it? Let it go. And I may still have a little niggle with it while I'm walking around with me. But that's alright. No one said we were supposed to walk around feeling happy all the time. No one gave us that promise when we were born. No one gave me that promise. No one said you ain't going to feel happy. You're going to feel happy all the time, and that's the natural state. But that's what we're told now. I feel happy. Oh, I don't feel happy. Must be something wrong. So what shall I do? I'll go and eat something. Go and watch a bit of porn. Something to make me feel happy again. But that's the lie, is that we're supposed to feel happy all the time. We have an whole gambit of emotions, and all of them, we all feel them all. And the best thing we can do is make friends with them, especially anger. Because that's the force. That's the force that, like, you lock into that. When you say something has to happen here, I'm the one to make sure it happens. When you lock into that, that is laser cutting. That'll cut through anything. It's the most powerful, one of the most, alongside love. It's one of the most powerful emotions that we have. So I need to master it. And master it is not I lock it away and I don't feel it. Mastering it is bang, here it is, but I get to choose what I do with it and where it lands. Most importantly, it comes out straight, not sideways, or I let it pass. Anyway, thank you for listening to this. I wanted to record this just to deal with it myself, because as I said, I had an interaction and it really brought up anger for me, and I'm finding that a lot at the moment. So it's been really helpful to be able to share that and get that off my chest. Really, notice that word we say, off my chest, because that's where I feel it. That's where I feel my anger, is in my chest. Get it off my chest. So I feel better having shared that. I hope it's useful for you. I don't know how many of these I'm going to do, but if they're feeling useful to you, let me know, and I'll continue to do them. If you haven't yet, these will go out through the Magnificent Man Project Facebook group. So go and join the Magnificent Man Project Facebook group. We're trying to get 1 million men and supporters. It's open to anyone to join, just as a place so we can connect. I mean, imagine what 1 million men wanting to make the world a better place, talking to each other and supporting each other and connecting with each other and challenging each other, holding each other to a higher regard, what that could do. Go and join the Facebook group if you can. Let me know what you think of this, and I look forward to speaking to you soon. Peace.
So welcome to the fire.